All right, so here's practice 6. So in this case, we're going to be working with a 3-Venn diagram. And so we see that 125 people have been surveyed, and they asked them about these 3 channels, HBO, CNN, and MTV. So in this case, I'm going to let A be HBO, B be CNN, and C be MTV. And so let me go ahead and get my 3-Venn diagram going, since I need 3 circles for each channel. So there's my A, there's my B, there's my C. So the main thing to remember about these problems is when you're working through them, like even whether it's a 2-Venn, 3-Venn, you're always going to start with the middle. So the weird thing is most of these problems are worded in such a way that you're actually going to use the data at the very beginning last, and the data that comes at the end is usually what we're going to use first. So in a 3-circle Venn diagram, the first thing we want to do is we want to fill in that middle section where A, B, and C all intersect each other. And so if we see at the very last sentence, we've got 11 people watch all 3. So that tells us that we want to put an 11 in that spot. And then that takes care of A intersect B intersect C. Now from here, what we want to do is we want to actually start to go to all the other intersections, like A intersect B, B intersect C, and A intersect C, just to see what happens. So let me get a different highlight color here. So let's do yellow. So if we see 33 people watch HBO and CNN. And so we see that HBO is A, CNN is B. So what that tells us is this little section here has a total of 33 people in it. But at the moment, we've already got 11 in there. So what we have to do is take 33 minus 11, and that gives us 22. So that tells us that there's 22 in just the yellow section in that case. So now that we've done that one, let me get a different color. Let's get purple. So 42 people have watched HBO and MTV. So in this case, HBO is A, MTV is C, so that's going to be this section here. So A intersects C. And so again, we see that there's 42 people in there, but there's already 11 that lives inside of that spot. So we want to subtract the 11 out. So that gives us 31 in just the purple in that case. So finally, our last intersection, let's do gray, see how it shows up. So we've got 47 watch CNN and MTV. So in this case, CNN is B, MTV is C. So what we're looking at is that section. So again, there's 47 in there, but just like before, there's 11 already in there, so we need to subtract the 11 out. So that gives us 36 that lives just in the gray area. And so at this point, we've taken care of all of the intersections. So now what we want to do is focus on the people that just watched HBO or just watched CNN or just watched MTV. So they're going to be in those big empty spots that are left over. So if we look, let's see, let's do red maybe. So 71 people watched HBO total. So that means everybody in this circle, there's 71 people total that are in that circle, but I've already got a bunch of people in there at the moment. So let's add up. So 31, 11, 22. So I've already got 64 people in there. So if I do 71 minus 64, that gives me 7 people that just watched HBO. So I can put them in that circle. So now, same thing. Let's look at CNN. Let's do it in pink, say. So 72 watch CNN. So CNN is our B. So that means everybody that's in that pink circle is 72 people total. But just like before, we've already got some people in there. So let's add up 22, 11, 36. So 9. So 69 is already in there. So again, take 72 minus 69. That gives me a 3. So that means that there are only 3 people that watched just CNN in this case. And then finally, we've got to deal with MTV. So let's get, what color do I want? Let's do this blue. So again, we've got 80 people that are watching MTV. So circle C is 80. So again, if we add up all those people inside, that total should be 80. But again, we've already got some stuff in there. So we've got 31, we've got 11, we've got 36. So let's add that up. So it tells us we've got 78 people that are already in there. So if we subtract 80 from 78, we see that there's just 2 people that watched MTV, and that was the only channel that they actually watched. All right, so we've done a lot of work so far, and it seems like we should be done, and we are close. Now, the one thing to be careful of, let me erase some of these because I'm going to need this in a second, is whenever they give you an actual total, so in the very beginning they said there's 125 people total. So whenever they do that, what we have to do is kind of check and verify that we actually have 125 people. A lot of times if they say there's 125, then there might be people that didn't watch either HBO, CNN, and MTV. And if you notice, that's exactly what question C is asking us. How many didn't watch any of these channels? So there could be people that live out in this universal region, out in here, that just doesn't watch any of those channels. So what we need to do is now go back in, add up all the numbers in the circle, and then figure out how, if it's 125, then we're done, and that means there's 0 people on the outside. But if it's less than 125, then that means there's some people on the outside. So let me take 22, 31, 36, and add those up. So it's a 9, 6, 7, 8, so 89. So let me throw the 11 in there. So it's 100. And then 7 and 3 is 10. And then 2 gives me 112. So in A, B, and C, there's 112 people total. But again, if we go back and look, we're supposed to have 125 people that were surveyed. So we don't just throw them out. So they still have to go somewhere. So they're going to go where I kind of highlighted green. They're going to go out in that universal set. So let's take 125 minus 112. And it looks like there's 13 people that didn't watch any of the 3 channels. So we'll plug those guys in there. So I hope that helps you guys figure out how to do these 3 Venn diagrams. If you have any questions or anything like that, just let me know, and good luck.